All right, ladies and gentlemen, my update first impressions are good. There's a lot to talk about, so let's dive right in. We just have 2 new uniforms for Weapon Hex and Abomination, but there's actually a lot to get to, so we'll dive right in. So Abomination is on sale right now. He was originally in the Danger Room. The only other way to get him, so that players know, is through Dimension missions in the last reward, which costs you like 30 or 40 runs of 80 energy with boost points. You have a chance to pull him every day. So you do have one chance every single day to pull Abomination. You only need to pull him once there. You'll unlock him, I believe, with 5 bios. And then boom, you're good to go. Otherwise, you have to spend like 3,500 crystals. He may be discounted for Black Friday. I honestly can't remember. If the rest of the Danger Room characters were also discounted, he should also, again, be discounted. However, this is a pretty good uniform. A lot of people were confused because he lost the chain hit and he replaced it with 15% extra damage to villains and heroes and 45% ignore dodge as a support for the gamma radiation allies, whereas before he had the 20% chain hit and the 45-45. Well, turns out chain hit doesn't stack. At least it doesn't stack well enough for Hulk to take advantage of it, and Hulk's latest uniform gives him access to chain hit damage. So now that Hulk has chain hit damage, and he has it right there, 15%, the chain hit that he was getting from Abomination isn't really doing much versus the extra damage to heroes and villains, and the ignore dodge does a lot. So ipso facto, there's a long way to say this new uniform is an upgrade technically for Abomination to support Hulk. However, that's pretty much it. Not saying Abomination isn't a cool uniform, not saying it doesn't look dope, but he's just a support. He's not a PvP threat. He's not going to be a PvE threat. Obviously, if you want to play him just for funsies, that's totally cool. He does have some pretty nice looking skills, especially 5 where he grows. I'm about to show you. And then 4 where he melts the ground like Molten Man. Looks really cool there. And then with the 4th skill, he like melts into the ground, or the ground melts or whatever. It just looks really cool. So yeah, he has some really cool skills, but let's not get it twisted. He is a support, but he is better as a support now than he was before. So absolutely an upgrade, but very, very niche upgrade right now. Basically just Hulk, because She-Hulk's not really relevant for PvE. Amadeus Cho's not really relevant for PvE. And I should bring this up, Red Hulk is not relevant for PvE or PvP. However, that is want to change. We know with the, what's it called? Brave New World Captain Falcon movie that Harrison Ford, spoiler alert, is Red Hulk now. So he's probably going to get a tier 4, at least a tier 3, if not a tier 4. So that'll add one more gamma radiation ally. And then they might even do something for Red She-Hulk. That's another gamma radiation ally. So on the horizon, there are possibilities. And keep in mind that once Abomination's uniform is gone from 2 weeks from now, it's gone for a year. So then, of course, you have to wait. And then we have Weapon Hex. Surprisingly, really good. For a level 70 tier 3, she hits hard. She has a very easy proc-friendly rotation, where you do 3 delay cancel, 5 cancel 4. So you just delay until she lands, and then you do 5 into 4. And she has a shit ton of hits. So you can see there, she has 400 hits on like 5 targets. Yeah, she hits a ton of times. So if you look here, 3, delay cancel, 5, 4. She racks up like 110 hits or something like that with her base rotation. Very, very good. And it translates. She does good damage. She was able to do, I think, stage 14 of Kang for me at level 70 with just a random, pretty much garbage 180 proc, right? No crit damage, no ignore dodge, nothing good. 4-star artifact, sure. Power of Angry Hulk, sure. But yeah, pretty much shit run-of-the-mill build here. Rank 350. I'm excited to use her at level 80, and I actually might tier 4 her, because you got to go back to the stream to see it, but I don't want to spoil it. I tried a full zombie team in Otherworld Battle, and it was something. It was certainly something. But there's more to get to in the update, so I will cover that as well. They did buff Apocalypse, so I will probably be tier 4ing Apocalypse because the buff seems pretty good. He does spam 2 quite a lot now and spam 5. I think he still really needs the tier 4, like at tier 380 with a Mighty Conquest and a 4-star artifact. He's still not good enough, but he killed Silver Surfer a couple of times. He almost killed Sentry a couple of times. And so I'm excited to kind of push him to the next level and see where he ends up, because I really like Apocalypse, and I was just basically, I was on the cusp, right? And then they finally did rework him a little bit. So yeah, I think he's good. Do I think he's going to be like the next high tier meta? Is he going to be Sentry? No, but he should be maybe better than Doom. So that's certainly something. I know it's not great, but I really do like Apocalypse, so this is more of a personal thing for me. But in saying that, I want to also let you guys know that there have been data mines. Now, these data mines should have been communicated to the general public sooner, but they weren't for whatever reason. 2 weeks ago, there was evidence found. This sounds so like dramatic and sort of like police, like investigation type vibes. But anyways, evidence was found in the game files of changes made to Venom's models. Venom's models were being tweaked somehow, and Knull's models were being tweaked. That's usually an indication that that updates or uniforms or upgrades to those characters are coming down the line. Because usually what ends up happening is when they're going to update a character with a new uniform in a tier 3 or a tier 4 or whatever, especially when they haven't worked on the character in a while. In this case, for Venom, it's been 2 years. For Knull, it's been 3 years. But anyways, they're going to go back and they're going to look at the work that they did, and they're going to say, okay, like, can we polish up any of this model, or can we maybe copy and paste some of the effects? But anyways, when they do that, when they go back to the base models or the most recent model, even if it's, a uniform, it makes you basically creates a sort of timestamp or some sort of clue that it was edited recently. And there's no reason to edit it unless you're working on something, right? Unless maybe they're trying to take some of the visuals from Venom and apply it to somebody else, right? That's possible too. There's no guarantee that Venom's getting a uniform, but we do know for sure that, almost for sure, right? Like 99% chance that Knull and Agent Venom are, because of that poll at the beginning of the year. Venom obviously is closely related to the symbiotes, and he also has the movie with Tom Hardy, Venom 3, but it's less of a guarantee. I would probably, I absolutely put my money on Agent Venom and Knull. Wouldn't necessarily put my money on Venom, but yeah, that is what has been found. Changes to or sort of modifications to the looks of Venom's and Knull's character models. So that's important to know, because the APOC changes make a lot of people want to tier for Apocalypse, but if Knull is coming soon, and especially sooner rather than later, you want to know that. That's the other thing. So the Collector's Vault has been data mined, which means there will not be a second mid-month. That's it. So that's actually really good. Now, I'm going to go over to my good friend Calendar so you guys know what I'm talking about here. But essentially, if we take a look at a calendar right now and we scroll over to October, we're on the 30th of October right now, and I'm actually going to screenshot this so that I can explain this very, very carefully. We take this over to Paint and we copy and paste it. And so what we're looking at here, if the mid-month update just landed here on the 30th, right, the 29th/30th, then, which is right here, right, that's where we are right now. Then in 2 weeks, on the 13th, the Future Pass is going to end. It's a little bit more than 2 weeks. It's 15 days. So it's actually going to end here on the 15th of November. And if you take a look here on the Future Pass, you can see in the top right corner, it says ends in 15 days, 8 hours on the yellow text. So that puts the next update squarely for the 19th and the 20th. So that is exactly, that's just like when it has to be, basically. So we're 3 weeks away from the next update, just based on the math there. There's not going to be another update during the Future Pass, so you can just X the next 2 weeks off, and then you add a couple more days. They drop the sneak peeks, whatever, and then boom. So 19, I'm pointing out 19 and 20. It would have been 26, 27, or possibly December if there was a second mid-month, because then the second mid-month would drop on the 13th and it would delay everything. But there's no second mid-month, which means the Collector's Vault and stuff like that is going to happen here, which means the next update is going to happen here. That's important for players who are looking hard at Apocalypse now, Players who are maybe even looking at a zombies of Otherworld battle team. They want a tier 4 maybe Weapon Hex. They want a tier 4 maybe Captain America. Keep in mind, if you really want a tier 4 null and you don't have a lot of resources, this is it, folks. November 20th. The big boy is very likely to be coming. It's not a guarantee, right? He could be the mid-month of that update. I don't want to, upset people or stress people out further, but it's possible that he's the mid-month of that one, which would then put him December 3rd or 4th or something like that. But yeah, he will be coming sooner rather than later. So yeah, no second mid-month. This is the last update before the next full update. And so a lot to think about, right? A lot of good characters getting tier 4 recently. Well, a mixture of good and popular. Doctor Strange's upgrade was really, really good, and I think that caused a lot of people to then tier 4 him who hadn't because of the last uniform, the death of Doctor Strange or whatever. But now the zombie one has forced a lot of people, or pushed a lot of people to tier 4 him. Now with Apocalypse's buffs, I think a lot of people are going to go back and tier 4 Apocalypse. And then Weapon Hex is actually pretty damn good. I mean, giving all zombie allies immortality turns out to be pretty good. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun, yeah. So for those of you wondering as well, we tested it on stream. If you switch characters before the Berserker passive expires, before the 7 seconds is up, it just waits until you switch back to the character, and it'll just kill them when the timer is up. So you can't cheese the timer out of its existence. I guess maybe if you somehow stalled for 3 minutes, I guess you could. But what would be the point of doing that, right? That would be like almost impossible. It'd be cool, but it'd be almost impossible. So yeah, I'm actually really happy with this update because not only do both of the characters seem good in different ways, but they also found a way to make one of the new characters, i.e. Weapon Hex. I know she's a seasonal and it's a paywall uniform, but she makes other characters that have already been released stronger. And she builds on the zombie tag, which I thought was just going to be a throwaway for just Cap and Wong, but it looks a little bit stronger than that, which is kind of nuts, which is kind of crazy. Like, a lot of people were saying, oh, Weapon Hex is only going to be good for the new game mode and it's just going to be some cheesy ass support. Well, she might be good for the new game mode. I don't know, but she's damn good for PvP, and she's not bad for PvE on her own either. Last thing I want to talk about here before we wrap this up, because this is just a first impressions video, this is not supposed to be a deep dive on any one thing, is this new Autumn Relay Pack. Holy cow, bro. They're really trying to rip, they're really trying to, like, tear Whale's pants in half. This is an aggressively priced pack. I know it's very expensive, but the first step is not bad with 2 shots at a Brilly. The second step is kind of mid, but then the third step, holy cow, the third step. You get an art book selector. So you can finish your art book collection if you're like me and you're missing one of the cards, or you can pick up the all new, all different, which is a very, very strong PvE card. And then you also get another selector, which includes the new Zombies card, which I spent like $200 fishing for and missed. But it's already crafted, which saves you 30 mythics and potentially P cards because it rolls randomly, so it could roll blue stars and it could roll blue stats that are good. Absolutely bananas. Absolutely bananas. Very expensive pack here, but very strong value. This is something you see during the anniversary or Black Friday. So for them to be pulling this out during Halloween is... It's certainly something. They got me. Caught. And then the Shield Archive. The Shield Archive is really good, man. You can get the new Ghost Rider card. Isn't that nuts? They added the Ghost Rider card. They didn't add the newest card. I can understand that, but they did add the Ghost Rider card. So I know I say this a lot, but now is a great time to start up Marvel Future Fight, to spin up the game again if you quit or you're taking a break, because this Shield Archive is super easy to do. You just farm story mode, dimension missions, and dispatch. You get yourself a free artifact. You get a 3-star artifact, random artifact. You get a Odin's Blessing, random Odin's Blessing, and then you get a random P card. And it could be, like, you got some good ones down here, right? You got some good ones. You got like a 1 in 5 chance Like a 20% chance to get a top 5 card. Yeah, probably a little bit higher if you're flexible in PV and PvP. Probably like a 1 in 4 chance to just get straight up a good card. So yeah, and then that leads, you start playing now, you farm that leads 2 weeks into null. We're talking big things. We're talking big shit popping. You know what I'm saying? The G is being silent in lasagna type things. Anyways, yeah, I'm really excited. I got a lot of projects now to consider, a lot of characters to build up and see what's next on. And I'm not sure where I'm going to go with it, which I'm excited about. I like when I don't know exactly what my account is going to look like and I have to sort of make tough decisions. So yeah, thanks for watching. Smash the like button if you enjoy the content. Boys, buckle up. We got zombies into symbiotes. It's going to be an absolutely banger month for this game. I'm so excited. Whew. Anyways, hope you are too. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.